Hey everybody, happy Sunday evening. This is Kim Danke, your fast track instructor. I hope that you've had a great day. We're going to give everybody until 7:33 to go ahead and get logged into the website and make sure that they didn't have any problems finding us in the Zoom room. This is also being broadcast on Facebook. If you are on Facebook, I would love for you to hit the share button. This is the Mac Daddy webinar. This is the webinar that gives you the lifestyle overview. What could you do every single day to make sure that you are going to achieve the results that you want? So if you're on Facebook, hit the website. Hit share and send it off into the world. If you are a member, go ahead and like this and say how much weight you've lost. We love to encourage people with that, especially our new members who are just now getting started. We're so thankful for them. And if you are in the Zoom room, we're going to do a little bit of housekeeping. And I will have to repeat this in just a few minutes because other people are still joining the webinar. But if you don't mind, find your chat button. Whether you are in the Zoom room on a computer or on your phone, go ahead and find the chat button. Click there, and then you should see the option All Panelists. Click there and then choose the option All Panelists and Attendees. That makes your chat set to all panelists and attendees. This means that everybody can see what you type, not just me. It makes it much easier if people see the questions that are being asked and I'm just not randomly answering questions, okay? So please go ahead and set that. If you're on Facebook, please take just a moment and say hello. You don't have to do a long dissertation, just say hi. We love to know that you are here. If you're in the Zoom room, please let me know if you are here for the first time or if you're here for a restart. I would also love to know where you're from and who told you about Shibboleth. Hey, Celia, we got, let's see, CC Vineyard. Celia, do you like to be Celia or CC? Hey, Chastity. Hey, Shirley. Thank y'all for saying hello on Facebook. Thank you so much. First time. Yes, awesome. Glad you're here. Mandy, awesome. Welcome. Cece, okay, gotcha. Barbette, Pensacola, Restart. And then Lakeland, Florida. And Jeanette Cabe. Hey, Jeanette. Hey there. Hey, Randy, Restart. Gina, Restart. Connie, hey Connie, second time, but I need the refresher. Everybody needs the refresher. Cape Coral, Florida. Sam Phillips got me on board. Awesome. Trina, welcome. Glad you're here. Hey, Andrew. Hey, Glenda. Hey, Dawn. Dawn lost 5.8 pounds in her first week. Woo! Awesome, Dawn. Coming up on second week weigh-in here just for reinforcement and making sure I'm doing it right. That is so important, Dawn. Thank you for telling everybody that. Hey, Linda. Linda's here with a restart. And Randy, Sharon, I can't really, Faruga introduced me. Awesome. Glad that she did. Sharon Krieger listening for a second week. So you get it all. That's so awesome. Tomorrow starts my day one from Lakeland, Florida. Wonderful. Okay. So those of you who are listening for the second time or possibly more times, I want to say good job, because if we've had, however old we are, when we're trying to change our habits, like I'm going to use my age. If we've had 49 years of habits we need to change, it cannot be heard too many times what you're trying to do. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. We got another Lakeland, Florida member right there as well. Awesome. Hey, Chastity, restarting tomorrow. Tuning in from Hiawassee, Georgia today. Awesome. Glad you're here. Wonderful. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to share my screen with you. I'm going to use a PowerPoint tonight. This PowerPoint is something that will be available to you after tonight's webinar. So don't feel like you have to screenshot it or anything like that. At the end of tonight's webinar, I'm going to show you where to find this PowerPoint so you can access it all week. But if you're going to do anything tonight, it's to take notes. Take notes, because you want to know what it is that you need to do every single day to receive and achieve the results that you want. Okay, Randy's from upstate New York. Awesome. We got people from all over the country. That makes me so happy. Awesome. I'm glad you're all here. If you are finding us on Facebook and you have no idea what this is, listen in and then get a membership. It's $99, all levels, 1 year, $99 for a year. It's absolutely awesome. You can go to shibbolethdeals.com. And if you heard about us from an actual person rather than Google or Facebook, that type of thing, please write in their name. We like to thank people for sharing our membership with other people. Hey, Polly, I see you on Facebook. And Andrew from Young Harris, Georgia. Awesome. Wonderful. Good. Okay. Well, I'm Kim Dankey. I'm your fast track instructor. I lost 50 pounds about 2 years ago. I have kept that off now. It took me about 5 months, and I've been keeping that off for about 20 months. Where that little delay came in is I just want to tell you something. I only wanted to lose 35 and a half pounds. I lost 50. I didn't even know I had 50 pounds to lose. But, sometimes we don't know what our body needs, where it needs to be, because we haven't been there in so long. So I've been maintaining that 50-pound weight loss now for about 2 years. And I am so, so thankful. And I think that you will be too. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. So one of the things that we go over tonight is the basics. So I'm going to talk about the words, the terms, the terminology, the language that you're going to hear when learning Shibboleth, when talking Shibboleth, when reading posts about Shibboleth, when reading the website about Shibboleth and other documents. You got to know the language that you're hearing. What do these things mean? So that's what we're going to go over tonight. Honestly, the lifestyle is extremely simple. It's extremely simple. All you got to do is put these things into play every single day. Well, we're going to talk about those days where you don't have to put it into play if you don't want to. So the basics. There are 2 modes in Shibboleth: weight loss mode, maintenance mode. Just 2 modes. There are 3 differences between the 2 modes. 1, the number of holidays that you can use in a calendar month. A holiday is what the world calls a cheat day, but we don't cheat. On Shibboleth, cheating has a negative connotation. We have a holiday and we enjoy our food. Number 2, how we eat fruit. That might sound funny, but we're going to get to that in just a little bit. Number 3, your mindset. You might be starting off tonight in weight loss mode, thinking diet. And I understand, I totally understand. But by the time you get to maintenance, we desperately need you to understand that this is a lifestyle, because you can't touch your victory goal and go back to your old ways. We've got to start these being the new habits. Let's let these be the normal new habits that you have, okay? So there are 2 types of days. We either have a perfect day or a holiday. A perfect day is simply a day where you are meeting all components of the Shibboleth shield. A holiday is a day where you aren't meeting some component of the Shibboleth shield. It's that simple. How many holidays are allowed? In weight loss mode, you can use up to 6 holidays in a calendar month. In maintenance mode, you can use up to 12 holidays in a calendar month. So holidays are just a day where maybe you don't drink all the water that you're supposed to for the day. Maybe you don't eat in the right food combination. Maybe you have 2 servings at dinner instead of the normal 1 serving or portion. So it's just as simple as that. That would be a holiday. Or maybe you have it planned for a vacation, an actual holiday like Christmas or Thanksgiving, or birthdays, anniversaries, and such. So those are the days that we should possibly have holidays on. Then there's other days too. Okay, you can choose how to use them. But in weight loss mode, when you really want to see results, make sure that 24 to 25 days out of the month are perfect days, and you could use up to 6 holidays if you choose. Once you get to maintenance, you can use up to 12, but let me just tell you, You're going to have those other 18 to 19 days be truly perfect days. They can't turn into okay days because the okay day is a holiday. Have it be truly perfect day to maintain those results, okay? Because that's a lot of holidays right there, which is fun, but we got to learn how to use them appropriately. How do you have a perfect day? You follow the Shibboleth shield. A shield is there to keep you safe and protect you. And if you follow this, you'll get results. Your body's going to be protected, and your mind and heart will heal from bad habits. I promise all of these great things are going to happen. After two, this is very important information. After 2 perfect days, your body gets into a state called EFB, efficient fat burning. Efficient fat burning means that you are using stored energy. Stored energy is just fat. You're using stored energy for the energy that you need to live rather than easily accessible sources of energy. We're going to go over that in a little bit, but just kind of start thinking about that. I've got to figure out how to use the stored energy on my body. That's what Shibboleth helps you do. That's why it burns off like that when you put all these things into play. Now, after 2 perfect days, you get into EFB. And then whenever you have a holiday, after the holiday, it takes 2 perfect days to get back into EFB again. So it's kind of like the cycle of life. All right. So there are 5 things that we do each and every day. It's the 5 components to the Shibboleth shield. After I started putting all of these into play every day, I started calling them my 5 daily disciplines. These are my objectives every day because I'm now learning the standards. I'm learning how to measure moderation. Shibboleth gives you the standards by which you measure moderation. And then these are my 5 daily objectives or daily disciplines: water, journal, combinations, portions, and timing. Component number 1 of the shield is to drink at least half a gallon of water every day. This is 64 ounces. Shoot for a gallon though. The more water you have going in and out of your body, the more fat is metabolized and the more waste is pushed out. And we need fat and waste being pushed out on a regular basis. So if you're looking for ounces, that's 64 ounces up to 128 ounces, half a gallon to a gallon, if you think about that. But if you're looking, it's just 4 of these. It's just 4 regular water bottles to be your minimum. Okay. And I don't let it slip. If I have 63 ounces and I'm about to go to bed, I'm going to go in there to my water faucet in my bathroom, and I'm going to scoop up an ounce. I don't want to live outside the guidelines because I want the results. And as soon as we start slipping in one area, we'll slip in more. It's just the way it goes. So make sure that you get in at least half a gallon as your minimum to have a perfect day in this component of the shield. That's not hard. This one's not hard. Component number 2 of the shield is to journal. We've got to journal daily. If you bite it, you write it. If you nibble it, you scribble it. If you drink it, you ink it. And if you hog it, you log it. Okay. We've got to write down everything that we eat, even on a holiday. Okay. A holiday. It's very important, even on holidays, to write down what you are eating. Okay. So this is huge in the area of behavior modification. It also keeps you very conscious of what you're doing, mindful. It makes you mindful of what you are doing rather than popping bites randomly into your mouth mindlessly. This keeps you mindful. I don't need to pop that bite into my mouth. I'm going to have to go write that down. Am I using that in an appropriate way? Oh no, I'm not. Okay, I'm not going to do that because I don't want my perfect day to go away. This will help you think about what you're doing. So make sure that you are journaling every single day. Component number 3 of the shield is to eat properly combined meals. We are going to eat in a way that controls insulin, aka the fat bus. Properly combined meals keep away the fat bus. Now, the reason that we call insulin the fat bus is because insulin is a hormone, it's a growth hormone, it's a fat storage hormone. Not all growth hormones are fat storage hormones. but insulin is. We've got to eat in a way that controls insulin so that we are not storing new fat while we're burning off the old fat. This is a biggie. This is a biggie, okay? We're going to go over one slide tonight, and tomorrow night, the 1 full hour is on this topic, okay? Component number 4 of the shield is portions. Now, most of the time when people think, oh, I got on the scale this morning, I did not like what I see. Most of the time they think I need to eat less. And they do. That's part of it. But if they don't know that other part about controlling the insulin, they could create a vicious cycle for themselves of collecting new fat, burning old fat, collecting new fat, burning old fat. That's a vicious cycle. If we're not collecting new fat and we're burning old fat, that's how you get awesome fat loss. And that's what we're focused on in Shibboleth. So, portions. There are 3,500 calories in 1 pound of fat. If you're taking notes, please write that down. 3,500 calories in 1 pound of fat. So, in order to lose 1 pound of fat, we've got to get into a calorie deficit. But we really don't spend much time counting calories. So, how do we get into this calorie deficit? We simply eat properly portioned meals from a 6 to 8 inch plate using the 2-hand rule. We are going to put our hands together as close as possible. See, fingers closed, hands together as close as possible. Your thumbs are out of the way, okay? See, I'm going to lay my hand down over my food, down right above it, and I'm going to look. And as long as I cannot see my food sticking out around my hands, then I've portion controlled. And that's going to get you into the calorie deficit that you need to be in. This is great news. This is great news because you don't have to spend time looking at boxes, figuring things out, and counting calories. I'm not that girl. And so I have had great success on Shibboleth because really Shibboleth eliminated all the things I don't like to do when I'm trying to maintain a healthy weight or lose weight and then maintain a healthy weight. They'd eliminated all the things I don't like to do. So the other thing is about your portions, you really don't want them to be any thicker than the thickest part of your hand. So basically that's just saying don't pile up your plate and then say, I can't see it. Okay. You got to have your hands down low, reasonable. Our stomachs are really no bigger than this. Go put your hands right there together like that on your stomach. They're really not any bigger than what your hands are. It might be a slightly different shape, but it's not any bigger than what's going to fit underneath your 2 hands. So that portion control is what's going to get us into that calorie deficit that we need to be in. Okay, we've gone over 4 of the 5 components of the shield. Water, not hard, just start getting it in tomorrow. Journaling your foods, start writing them down tomorrow. Even if tomorrow is not a perfect day, write it down. If we know what you're eating, we can help you tweak it. Okay, so go ahead and write it down. Get in that habit of writing down what you eat. Number 3, eating in a way that controls insulin. There's some super simple ways to get started in the first week just to get some success under your belt, all right? And then you can branch out into all of the different variety that Shibboleth has, but you just keep it simple in the first week. We're going to eat in a way that controls insulin. Number 4, portions. Using our 2 hands to portion our food. Portions also has to do with when you're eating a snack or an extra, not to go over the amount that it says is okay for an extra or a snack. Obviously, if you had 2 snacks, then you would not, that would be over your portion amount for the day because 1 snack is allowed if you need it. Okay, so those are the 4 that make a perfect day. But there are 5 parts to the shield. Let's look at this last one. This last one is all about optimization, optimizing what you're doing with the other 4 parts. The reason that this one has some flexibility in it is because you're living a different life than I'm living. We're all waking up at different times. We've got different family situations, different job hours, all sorts of different things going on. So what you have to do with this one is figure out what works for you in your life based on the guidelines that are given here. So you can eat up to 3 meals a day. And honestly, up to 3 meals a day would be best for weight loss. That is what I did in weight loss. But if you need it, we have things called freebies, an extra, or a snack. And we'll talk about those in just a second. With your 3 meals, we would like for you to eat them 4 to 6 hours apart. See, one of the issues going on with our health in general is that we are overworking the digestive system. There are a lot of digestive issues out there that could flat out be corrected if we stopped grazing, if we gave our body a break between between meals to digest the food that we have ingested. If you think of the digestive system as a machine, if you overwork a machine, if you never give that machine a break, the machine's eventually going to break down. And a lot of digestive systems on people's bodies or in people's bodies have broken down. So we can heal this. Our body is an amazing, amazing creation, and it can heal itself if we give it the opportunity to do that. So let me just get this is what I do. And please don't be terrified that I stop eating this early in the day because you don't have to, okay? And I didn't in the beginning. It's just what I've worked up to. I have breakfast around 8. I have lunch around noon. I have my last meal of the day around 4. And then I don't eat again till the next morning at 8. But that's 4 hours between meals. So let's say that I didn't get home from work until 6 and I wanted to eat at 6. 8, noon, and 6 would work. Maybe you go to work at 6 o'clock in the morning. Well, maybe you eat lunch at noon, or maybe you eat it at 11, that kind of thing. So you're just trying to give yourself 4 to 6 hours between meals. So whatever works out for you is fine. And you do not have to eat breakfast either. If you're not a breakfast eater, that's totally fine. Okay, now let's talk about this. In moments of mental weakness, you can utilize freebies, an extra, and a snack. If you have stored energy on your body, then you're not going to go hungry while you are doing this. Now, your stomach, it may yell and your taste buds may yell, but we can make it through that. Now, whatever you do, though, if you are ready to give up a perfect day and you're ready to give in, then you need to have a freebie, an extra, or a snack. You can use one of them. Okay. So whatever you do, use something to get you through it if you need to. If you were going to be giving up that perfect day, then utilize something. All right. Freebies are technically unlimited, but please don't hear that word unlimited and say, let me see how much I can get in a day, because unlimited doesn't mean that it's necessarily good for you to eat all day. All right. We still want to heal our digestive system. An extra, somebody always says, or people always ask me, what's an extra? I said, something a little extra. Maybe you have a diet lemonade at Chick-fil-A to make that approved Chick-fil-A meal fun. Well, the diet lemonade at Chick-fil-A is not 0 calorie. The small one is 50 calories. So we just call that an extra, okay? We are trying to make this lifestyle be practical, sustainable, and fun. You need to have a lifestyle that you can live for the rest of your life. And these little extras will do that for you, okay? And a snack is just simply an approved item that is no more than 200 calories that you can utilize if you need to. But keep in mind that we need to stop grazing. So I have another little teaching tool. See this guy right here? He has a stomach that has been divided into 4 chambers. He is designed for grazing. We are not. We are not designed for grazing. Angela asks, does Spark count as an extra? Advocare Spark, one of them is a freebie. If you do up to 3, though, you do need to count 3 an extra. So, but 1 is a freebie, 3 would be an extra. Thank you for that question. Okay, Sharon, breakfast isn't necessary. That's right, it isn't necessary. Then I only have 2 meals for the day? Well, you could do 2 meals and a snack. That would still be 3 eating episodes, Sharon. So you could do that if you wanted to. The reason I specifically said breakfast isn't necessary is because I run into a lot of people that just flat out don't eat breakfast. And they eat lunch and they eat dinner, but they aren't eating the right combinations and they're overeating at those meals. And so they're wondering, why am I not losing weight? Well, then you would want to change those things. Yes, Tammy. Tammy says, can you go past 6 hours and still be okay? Yes, that is not a problem at all. That's not a problem at all, Tammy. Yes, and Angela says she doesn't eat breakfast. Yeah. So it's just that breakfast isn't necessary. But Sharon, if you still want to get 3 meals in a day, you can still have it. That's fine. But maybe if you're not eating breakfast, maybe you have 2 meals and a snack. Okay, you can do that too. So with component number 5, you can see how there's some flexibility to that. That if somehow you don't go 4 to 6 hours, it's still not going to throw you out of a perfect day. Okay, going over 6 hours is totally fine. But if you go 3 hours, that's not going to keep you from having a perfect day. The first 4 components of the Shibboleth Shield is, and if you went over your extra or your snack, then that would throw you out. Okay, having a perfect day just because it would be more than what you were allowed for your portions. And that would be back to component number 4. Okay, so is this all making sense? Y'all give me some thumbs up if this is making sense. What I want to tell you about Shibboleth is this is a management system. This is not a diet, and it is a lifestyle. But if you think about it, thank you, Sarah. I see you, Sarah. So this is a management system. Thank you, Lori. I appreciate it. A management system, anything, thank you, Angela. Thank you. Hey, hey there. Anything that you need to, that anything that you want to see go well, anything that you want to see succeed must be managed. Things that aren't managed don't typically go well. And if we're in a spot right now that we need to burn off some stored energy, then we haven't been managing it well. Well, now you have your hands on a management system, okay? So you can look at a month. In weight loss mode, no more than 6 holidays in a month. Boom, you now know what to do, okay? And then we're going to manage our day. Is it a perfect day or a holiday? You know what to do now. You're going to have your meals. Is this properly combined? It's just a way to manage what we're doing. And I'm going to tell you, I call it hashtag Shibboleth relief. It is a relief to me to now know what to do. I am so excited about knowing what to do. And I also enjoy my holidays a little bit more because that food that I was overdoing before was just being done out of habit. So now when I go and maybe have onion rings or French fries or something like that once in a month rather than every day, I eat those onion rings and I'm like, man, these are good. But when I was eating them every day or something like that, they weren't nearly as good. So it really will, it's going to change your mind on so many things. There's so much healing that goes in Shibboleth. Our health is going to be healed. Our mindset about food and how we can enjoy food is going to be healed. There's a lot of growth that can happen by putting all of these things into play. All right, we've just gone over the 5 components of the shield. You can start putting together all of these things tomorrow. Tomorrow. Don't delay. Start. The sooner you start, the better. In fact, I hear most people say, wish I'd started sooner. Wish I'd found this sooner. It's always better to get started now. Thank you, Angela. Angela says, I love this new lifestyle. It's nice to have a sense of accountability and know when I may do what. Yep, that's awesome. Okay. Now, this one is component number 3. This is CC. CC says, all I have now is my food I ate to get fat. Okay, so let me tell you about that food, CC. You can keep it in your house. You can eat it for a holiday until it's gone if you choose to, or you could get rid of it. Whatever way you want to do that, okay? But just know, I call that food that's left over in people's houses. I just call it holiday food, okay? And if there's something that you could use to make a appropriate meal, that's great. Otherwise, what you're going to do this week in Fast Track is you are going to start figuring out all the new foods that you can eat, because the reason that what you're throwing into the buggy now is just because that's what you're used to doing. There's going to be a little time investment in figuring out what's the new thing I'm going to buy for. If you eat bread. If you eat a tortilla, what's the new tortilla? If you eat soup, what's the new soup? If you eat cereal, what's the new cereal? It's a little bit of a time investment to figure out what those things are. And there's going to be a little bit of a time investment in the grocery store finding that new item. But think about that. Once you've done that work, it's going to be the new thing that you throw in your buggy. Boom, 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 boom. you'll have it all done in no time at all. So you're worth the time. You're worth the effort. Your family, your coworkers, all the people around you are also worth you taking care of yourself too. Okay. So do it for you, do it for him, but everybody around you will also benefit. Okay. So component number 3 to the shield is combinations, eating in a way that controls insulin. This slide that we're going to go over right now is going to show you how to have a properly combined meal. But the rest of the things that we do this week, we're going to explore the food library. We're going to explore what coach mode meals are. We're going to explore the meal plan generator, how to make a meal plan appointment, all kinds of things. We're going to be looking at all that. But if you really just look at this worksheet and the new member food library that's in the fast track dashboard, you can make simple meals. You can make simple meals. All right. And remember, you don't need to be elaborate in the beginning. You need to be simple in the beginning. Let's not be elaborate. You can be recipe elaborate, a week or two from now. It won't take you long to get this figured out and say, I'm ready to make a recipe. It won't take you long at all. But during week 1, let's just be real simple. Let's not make it complicated. Okay. So to learn how to properly combine meals, you need to know that there are 7 categories of food. And what we're going to do this week is we're going to figure out what your favorites are. That's one of the main things that each person needs to do for themselves. Figure out what your favorites are in each category, because you don't have to eat anything on Planet Shibboleth that you don't like. Okay. But we do need to know what you do like so that you can author your own meal plan. It's very important. Okay. Category 1 is a lean protein. You might see LP. Okay. So I'm going to read these out. I want you to be aware of what these mean. Lean proteins like egg whites, chicken breast. Category 2, fibrous carbs, FC, green beans, broccoli. Category 3, energy carbs, EC, potatoes, corn. Category 4, protein plus fat, PF, whole eggs, all cuts of steak. Category 5, fruit, FR, also known as an antioxidant carb, AC. The reason I put this here is because some of our documents say antioxidant carb or AC, and I want you to know that that's fruit. Okay, so these are interchangeable. You know how sometimes you start using a different word for something in life? I think somebody just started using antioxidant carb instead of fruit as they started learning something, and it's on a couple of documents. So I just wanted to make sure you knew that they're the same thing. Category 6, superfood, SF. Category 7, shellfish, SHF. And look at this, what I've written in parentheses, which is really just a lean protein. So you've got category 1 and category 7. These are the bookends of the categories. Both of them are lean proteins. Shellfish used to be in the lean protein category, but due to medical reasons and biblical reasons, some people don't eat shellfish, so it just got pulled off on its own little category. And if you don't eat shellfish, then you never have to concern yourself with any category 7s or SHF shellfish. You don't even worry about them. Okay, but all fish is a category 1 lean protein. All the other critters that live in water, even if they don't have a shell, like octopus, squid, they don't have shell. That goes in shellfish, all right? So that's the way that's kind of broken up. Now, let's talk about the fact that there are 5. 5 of these categories don't even have to be combined. That means you can eat them alone if you want to or need to. One of the most important things that you're going to learn on Planet Shibboleth is how to eat in all different situations. Not all of our eating situations are every single day sitting at home cooking a meal and having a seat at the table. Me personally, I go to a lot of luncheons where food is made and I just get what is there. I have to know how to eat there, right? Or I take a meal replacement, which I do, and then I make a decision there. I eat out. I mean, every single day I'm either eating out at lunch or at a luncheon. And I have to know how to order at all these different places. I got to know how to eat in all these different situations. So we're going to teach you all these little nuances. So there's 5 of these that do not even have to be combined. So if you're writing things down, please write down these that don't have to be combined. They can be eaten alone. Category 1, lean protein. Category 2, fibrous carb. Category 4, protein plus fat. Category 6, superfood. And category 7, shellfish. Those can be eaten alone. So all I skipped was category 3 and category 5. Those are the 2 that we have to train our brain. Ding, 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 ding. I must eat those properly. And then I'm going to teach you what you don't eat with protein plus fat. Okay, so category 3, energy carb. That is one that we skipped. I'm going to say carrots. Rebecca, do you have a question? I'm going to say, if you do, please type it in the chat for me, okay? Carrots. Let's say that you want to have some carrots. Carrots are a category 3 energy carb. Now, if you're just having the little baby carrots, like a little palm full of those little raw baby carrots, that would be a freebie and a moment of mental weakness. But if you've cooked carrots to eat, it changes them and you have to call them an energy carb. So, category 3 energy carb, you want some carrots. You say, ding, 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 that is an energy carb. I must eat that with a lean protein and a fibrous carb. So you'd have 3 things at least on your plate to eat that: a lean protein and a fibrous carb. So you're going to hear, we're going to do some measuring with our hands. Carrots, they'll sit about right there. It's about a 1/4 cup. Okay. I don't do any measuring and I just put it under here, but I'm just giving you that visual, about a 1/4 of a cup, 1/4 of a cup, carrots. The carrots are going to elevate your blood sugar. They just do. Every time you eat them, it happens. They are going to elevate your blood sugar. Your pancreas is going to secrete insulin. Just happens. Every time your blood sugar is elevated, no matter what it is, your pancreas secretes insulin. Now that you're learning, I need to eat in a way that controls insulin, you're going to put a lean protein here and you're going to put some fibrous carbs here. So let's say you have chicken breast here and green beans here, okay? And you've portion controlled. All that's on your plate. So the carrots are going to elevate your blood sugar. Your pancreas is going to secrete insulin, but you've chosen to have it with chicken breast and green beans. So the protein in the lean protein, which is the chicken breast, and the fiber in the fibrous carb, which are the green beans, are going to neutralize that insulin release that came because of the carrots. That's the science behind Shibboleth. It's brilliant. It is awesome. It is amazing. You basically used food as medicine. That's really what food is. So you used food to neutralize that insulin release, all within the eating of that meal. This is awesome. I mean, I hope that you're saying hallelujah right now. When I figured this out, I just said, dang, well, I got to eat in a way that controls insulin. When you eat in a way that controls insulin, you aren't storing new fat. And then when you portion control, you're burning old fat. And then we're getting rid of it and slimming down and getting healthier and feeling good, getting self-confidence, all these awesomeness. Okay. Category 5, fruit must be eaten with a lean protein and a fibrous carb when you are in weight loss mode. So remember earlier when I said there's 2 modes, weight loss mode and maintenance mode? And one of the differences was how you eat fruit. When you are in weight loss mode, fruit must be combined with a lean protein and a fibrous carb. And please know that anytime I say lean protein, I also mean shellfish, which is really just a lean protein, but I just say lean protein. So it must be eaten with a lean protein and a fibrous carb. Even though fruit has antioxidants in there, which are good for you. They are still fructose, which is still sugar. What does sugar do? It elevates your blood sugar. Your pancreas secretes insulin. And if you've had any fat right there with that food, it's going to get stored. But if you know now, I have to eat that with a lean protein and a fibrous carb, boom, you are going to have a fat insulin controlling meal that will not store fat. So let's put together a little meal. Maybe you want some berries. If you like yogurt, you could do like a Oikos 000 yogurt and throw in some hemp flakes with that. We'll talk about hemp flakes later in the week, but that's a category 1 and 2. It's a lean protein and a fibrous carb. You could throw that in and make yourself a little parfait. Maybe you don't like yogurt. You could make an egg white spinach omelet and have some berries with that. All we're doing is we are putting a lean protein with a fibrous carb with those berries to neutralize the insulin release. And you're also not overeating the energy carb or the fruit. And so it didn't require massive doses of insulin to deal with that. It's not like going to Ray's on the River in Atlanta, Georgia and ordering their 1-pound potato. Just think of what your pancreas is doing then. Okay, so you're eating a reasonable amount that the food that you eat with it can neutralize it. All right, so keep that in mind. Okay, so we've just gone over some very important rules. If you want to eat an energy carb or if you want to eat fruit, it must be combined with a lean protein and a fibrous carb. And you can see how the most important thing you can do this week is, what are my favorite lean proteins? What are my favorite fibrous carbs? Because I got to put these babies together and learn and pick myself some meals out. The next thing that you need to learn is about a protein plus fat and what you don't eat with it. All right. Now, protein plus fat. Let's talk about this. The protein's good, and the fat part, as long as it's portion controlled, this fat is not going to hurt you. See, fat, our body needs fat for certain functions. It'll just use it up for those functions. And then fat actually gets used up as energy and it'll dissipate as heat. But what we don't want to have happen with the fat is we don't want it to get stored. So be thinking right now, how does this apply? If I don't want to store fat, I don't eat it with anything that brings an insulin release, because that insulin is a fat storage hormone. So we just don't put those things in our body together. So the things on this list that can bring an insulin release is 3 categories. Category 3, energy carbs, category 5, fruit, and category 6, superfoods. These are the ones that we just don't eat with a category 4, protein plus fat. Yes, Barbette, you can do that. Barbette asks, can you do Oikos 000 by itself? You can, because it is a category 1 lean protein, and you can eat lean protein by itself. So we're not going to eat category 3 energy carb, 5 fruit, or 6 superfood with the protein plus fat. You can eat protein plus fat by itself. You can eat it with other lean proteins, and you can eat it with fibrous carbs. That's how you're going to do that. Now, let's say that you really like a steak and baked potato. Well, first of all, you could do it up to 6 times a month if you really wanted that, up to 6 times a month. You could do that on a holiday. See, Shibboleth doesn't take anything from you. Nothing. You can eat absolutely everything. We are just managing it. When are we going to eat that? When are we going to have that steak and baked potato if we want? Now, let's talk about the science behind a steak and baked potato, because I want you to know what's happening when you do that. Let's say that you eat the potato. The potato itself doesn't have any fat in it, but it's the catalyst to fat storage. It's what causes the blood sugar elevation that then causes your pancreas to secrete insulin. And because it was eaten with the steak, the insulin that comes out to do a job of blood sugar regulation actually goes, woo, they ate that with some steak. Let me go and store that. So we just don't put that combination together on a perfect day. You can have that on a holiday if you want to, but you wouldn't choose to do that on a perfect day. Again, management system. You're managing things, okay? So our protein plus fat just isn't eaten with energy, carbs, fruit, or superfood. Let me tell you something about superfood. If you're taking notes, this is important. Superfood actually has all 4 macronutrients in it. So on planet Shibboleth, we consider water a macronutrient, so it's got water in it, but it also has protein, fat, and carbs in it. So that's why we don't eat it with the protein plus fat. But now think about this. Superfood can be eaten alone. It's got everything in it to work together. So it can handle itself, okay? So it can be eaten alone, but we just don't eat it with protein plus fat. All right, let's talk about this combination chart. I want to explain this combination chart. The blue column is fast weight loss because it is different than what you were doing before you found Shibboleth. The yellow column is faster weight loss. And the red column, you are blowtorching fat like you'd blowtorch butter. This is the fastest weight loss column. Now, let's say we're all going to the beach, and one of us takes the scenic route to the beach, one of us takes the highway to the beach, and one of us takes the interstate to the beach. We're all going to get to the beach. One of us is just going to get, the one that takes this one is just going to get there a little bit faster. But you know what? When you take a trip to the beach, you typically take a little bit of all of these. Sometimes you're driving through a small town. You're seeing all the beautiful old historic homes. You're on the highway a little bit and you're on the interstate. So just keep in mind, you're going to be doing things out of all of these. But if you really want the absolute best, stick in the red and the yellow to get started. But you can do this blue one too. I don't want you to think you can't. I also want to read these lines so that you'll know how we read them. First of all, each line is just a meal. It's just an option. You don't have to eat all of them in a day. Each line is a different meal that you could make. So let's read this over here in the blue column, the very first line. The number that is here is not quantity. It is just the category number. So this would read category 1 lean protein with category 6 superfood with category 2 fibrous carb. That simply might look like 96% lean ground beef with black beans and collards. That's what that could look like. All right. So do you see where that's going? And then you can see this MCT, which is the oil. We're going to talk about that in 2 slides. So does that make sense to everybody? This MR right here is meal replacements. Meal replacements are actually pretty important to people because not everybody is cooking every meal that they eat. And you're going to need a few quick and easy things to have on hand, and you're going to want to explore those meal replacements. We will be doing that in the Fast Track Laps. If you hang out with me all week, every night at 7:30 until Saturday, then you're going to get everything. If there's a night that you're unable to attend, just know that all of these are recorded and then put into the Fast Track Laps for you to watch, okay? So the most important rules of food combining. Category 1 or category 7, like your lean protein, with a category 2 fibrous carb cooked up in MCT oil are the fastest fat burning combinations. It's the MCT oil that makes it be the fastest fat burning combination. If you want to eat category 3, which is energy carb, or category 5, which is fruit, you must eat it with a category 1 lean protein or category 7 shellfish and a category 2 fibrous carb. We just don't eat category 4 protein plus fats with category 3 energy carbs, category 5 fruits, or category 6 superfoods. And this is very important for eating out. All meat at a restaurant should be considered a category 4 protein plus fat. Even if it's a piece of chicken breast, and at home when you cook it, you can cook it appropriately and you would know that it's a lean protein. But at a restaurant, you have no idea how they cooked that. You don't know what oil they cooked it in. So basically what they've done is they've taken a lean protein and cooked it with an oil, and it's now a protein plus fat because it had oil cooked into it. So all meat at a restaurant should be a 4. Think about the application of that. If all meat at a restaurant is 4, you're not going to order it with energy, carbs, fruit, or superfoods. You would do a fibrous carb. All right, let's talk about another secret to Shibboleth. First of all, the combinations is a secret, but this is a secret too. I want you to see Shibboleth as simple swaps. You are simply swapping things that you're buying in the grocery store. We're still eating some of the same things, and you're going to be swapping them to a different brand or a different product. And then you're just going to be simply swapping around what you eat together. That's the eating in a way that controls insulin. And then you're going to swap out your oil. We use 100% MCT oil. MCT is a medium chain triglyceride. It has almost no propensity to be stored on your body as fat. I'm going to repeat that. It has no propensity to be stored on your body as fat. Yay, I want that. I don't want to be storing things on my body as fat. So I'm using MCT oil. Now, olive oil, canola oil, vegetable oil, those are LCTs, long chain triglycerides, and they have a great propensity to be stored on your body as fat. Here's why. One is a longer fat lipid. It takes longer to burn through. It's also dense. It takes longer to break down. Those are olive oil, canola oil, vegetable oil, and all those other oils. We're using medium chain triglycerides that burn like that. Boom, gone. And it burns so fast that there's a little heating up process to it. And so you'll burn a few extra calories with it too. Now, you're hearing me say great things about this medium chain triglyceride, but I want you to know there's a lot of noise out there about it. We only use it in 3 ways. That's it, 3 ways. Cooking, as a swap in a recipe, an approved Shibboleth recipe, and making approved salad dressings. That's the 3 things we use MCT oil for. I'm going to say the things that we don't use it for because sometimes people come into Shibboleth doing these things and you don't want to do these things. They aren't helping you. We do not take it as a supplement. We do not need a random 130 calories per tablespoon in our body as a supplement. You use it for the purpose of cooking a recipe or making salad dressings, but no, not as a supplement. We're not going to put it in coffee and make bulletproof coffee. We're not going to do that because coffee is a pre-digested drink. There is nothing in coffee to slow down fat absorption, even from a good fat, okay? So we're not going to put it in coffee. We also aren't going to just randomly throw it in shakes and other foods, okay? So don't just think, ooh, see, you hear things. See, this is the thing about the culture. You hear things and you think, oh, maybe if I do that, that's the magic trick to help me lose weight. It's not. It's not. Using these things appropriately in the way that Travis has figured out over 20 years works. That's the way you get results. But don't listen to anything else that's out there. Do you know one of the things that I should have said this early on in this webinar, but I'm just now remembering it. Please forget anything that you thought you knew about nutrition. If you bring baggage into this, you aren't going to give it its full shot. Forget anything that you thought you knew about nutrition. I had to do the same thing because I was an educator of well, maybe this would work. Maybe this would work. I was always reading and educating, and I had to forget all of that because I had lots of great knowledge, but none of it was helping me lose any weight. So just forget everything that you thought you knew and do this. Even if you don't even understand why you're doing what you're doing in the beginning, just do it and you'll learn. You'll learn over time because this is an education. It's the education we needed a long time ago, but now you have thought enough of yourself to give you the education, and I'm so happy about that for you. Okay, you could also use coconut oil. So coconut oil, though, is not 100% MCT oil. It's 66% MCT oil. So I just like to make that distinction so that you are aware that it's not 100. So if you buy a bottle of what you think is MCT oil and you flip it over on the backside, if it just says coconut oil as the ingredients, that is not 100%. It's coconut oil. It could still be used, but I don't want you to think it's 100%. Okay, you can also use ghee butter, Ghee butter. It's just butter that's been clarified. It's the fat that's left. There's no milk solids in there. And so what's awesome about using ghee butter is if you're a person that does like shellfish, when you go and you make shrimp scampi or you are dipping lobster tail in some butter or some crab legs in some butter, you got some butter to use. You know what to use. We're all about making this lifestyle fun and practical and sustainable, and we figured out what'll work. Now, ghee butter is about 40% MCTs, okay? So I would just use it when I needed a butter flavor. You can also use 0-calorie cooking spray. I want to talk to you real quick about how I make a decision on what to use. If I am cooking a protein plus fat, it already has fat in it. I don't need to add additional fats. That's when I use a 0-calorie cooking spray. But if I'm cooking a lean protein, I'm going to use a medium chain triglyceride. Okay. So that's simply how I make that decision. I feel like I was supposed to. Oh, yeah. Let me go back to this. MCT oil has a low smoke point. An example of MCT oil is that it's 100% MCT oil. That's what it's called. It's a medium chain triglyceride. And so, CC, it is like coconut oil and palm oil both have MCTs in them. But what's happened is they've extracted all the MCTs out. Because coconut oil, it's not 100% MCTs, so it's 66. So they've extracted all the MCTs. So an example of MCT oil is MCT oil. Okay, so there's a couple of ways. In Publix, they actually have it over in the pharmacy, which is interesting. Make sure that when you are buying MCT oil that it says that you can cook with it on there. Okay, make sure it says that you can cook with it. Now, if you really want to make your life easy, you go to the Shibboleth store online and you order the Zero Drag brand. That's the brand that we carry. It could be at your house in a few days, and that's what we use. But you can find it in stores. Just have to look for MCT oil. But the most important thing to do is to flip it over. Don't trust the marketing on the front of MCT oil. Flip it over and look at the ingredients list. It needs to say 100% medium chain triglycerides, okay? So that's just important. But in your grocery store, you may have to ask somebody where it is. It could be with oils. Like Kroger has a natural food section. It could be in that. Publix, I was just told today, it was in the pharmacy. So you might have to ask the first time. Or you can just go online. If you are buying on Amazon, make sure that you go through a link on our website. Like that's the Now brand, NOW. That's another brand that we recommend. But make sure you go through the link on our website. Shibboleth's Ministry will get a little kickback from Amazon if you do that, and it helps us. So, yeah, the very first time you look for MCT oil, this is why I just say save your sanity, your gas money, your time, energy, and effort, and just go to the Shibboleth store and order it. It'll be at your house in no time. This is what we consider a staple that you'll just have in your pantry. All right. Oh, I know what I was saying. Then you cook on low to medium heat because it has a very low smoke point. We don't want it to set off your smoke detector. So cook on low to medium heat. All right. Okay. We're going to start wrapping this up as the management system that it is. Okay. So we are striving for perfect days so that we can be in EFB, efficient fat burning. But planned or unplanned, a holiday is coming. That's just life. A birthday's coming and we're going to have some cake. I mean, an anniversary's coming and we're going to go out to dinner. There's these things that happen that we still want to be able to take advantage of, and we can because we're living a lifestyle. It's just that we're learning now how to manage those days that are perfect so that we can get to do what we want to on a holiday. So we're striving for perfect days, but planned or unplanned, a holiday's coming. After a holiday, it takes 2 perfect days to get back into efficient fat burning. When we are in efficient fat burning, our body will burn fat which is stored energy, for the energy that we need rather than easily accessible sources of energy such as unapproved oils and starchy and sugary carbs that aren't approved. So if we're giving our body unapproved oils and starchy and sugary carbs, it's always going to be working on those things and it's never going to be working on the stored energy, which is what we all want to get rid of. So that's why it's important to remain in EFB. But after a holiday, it takes 2 days to get back into EFB. What's happening during those 2 perfect days? Your body is getting rid of insulin that has come out during that, and it's getting rid of glycogen, which is the sugar stores that were pulled into your muscles and your liver as energy. We got to use those up, make those go away. Well, that's what happens when you're having your 2 perfect days after a holiday. On that third perfect day, that's when you're in EFB, baby, and you are seeing these little flames on your timing chart in your account. All right. So that's wonderful. Let's recap insulin. What is the fat bus? The fat bus is insulin. Insulin is a growth hormone, a fat storage hormone. After an insulin release, this is very important. After an insulin release, fat storage will occur for up to 48 hours. Hence the 2 days that you're out of EFB, okay? This is important for you to know too. Insulin also increases appetite. Have you ever eaten some ice cream and then you wanted chips and then you wanted a cookie and then you wanted a pickle and then you went back to the chips and you're like, oh my goodness, why is this happening? Well, it's because insulin is sending your appetite off the charts. So you just want to be aware of that so that after a holiday, if you the very next day you're kind of hungry, most of the time after a holiday, people are really ready to get back to their perfect days. Okay. But if you're a little bit hungry, what you need to tell yourself is it's the insulin. I'm not going to give into it. I'm going to keep right on doing this because I want the results I know I can achieve by doing this. And then just as a reminder, after the fat bus has been on its rounds, it takes 2 perfect days to get back into efficient fat burning. All right, what am I going to eat this week? You simply need to make a list of your 7 favorite lean proteins, 7 favorite fibrous carbs, and then just mix and match. Pick something from one category and something from the other category. Cook it up in some MCT oil if you have it and eat it. That's it. Now, if you don't have MCT oil or the meal that you're making doesn't call for MCT oil, don't feel like you have to add it. It's really only for cooking recipes and making salad dressings. Throw in a few meal replacements for simplicity. If you're eating Pop-Tarts now, you've got to know what kind of thing that you would want that's also simple, that's going to help you, not hurt you. And this is the world of meal replacements, all right? Shibboleth is all about teaching you how to eat whole foods, but not everybody is a whole food kind of person. That's what's awesome about Shibboleth. We teach you everything. We don't try to force you down any certain alley. You can do lots of different things within the guidelines of the Shibboleth lifestyle. Keep it simple in the beginning and then branch out as you live and learn the lifestyle. Last slide. Please take advantage of our awesome website and resources. Make sure that you are in the Facebook support groups. You do not have to have Facebook to get support because we've got an awesome website with a chat feature and you can book mentor appointments. But if you do have Facebook, then get into our support groups. In lap 1 of Fast Track, it will link you directly to the Facebook groups you need to be in. Familiarize yourself with our awesome website. Guess what? I help you do that every single night in Fast Track. This week, we're doing different parts of the website. So please join me for all of that. I do want you to make a getting started mentor appointment, but I want you to make that mentor appointment. Really, I want you to make it for next week. I want you to hyper focus on the Fast Track this week. When you have an appointment with a mentor, if you have some basic knowledge of what's going on this week, y'all are going to have a more intelligent conversation. And then you can ask questions that will help you wrap up your knowledge about this lifestyle. Focus on the Fast Track this week by working through each of the Fast Track laps. I'm going to show you Fast Track right now. Welcome. Welcome to the Shibboleth family. We are here for you. Okay, Sharon says, can you explain the difference between tiger level and silver level? I'm confused seeing those terms in various places. Great question. Now I'm gonna stop that share and I'm gonna go into a different share screen and show you the fast track, and then I will also explain that, Sharon. So go in here. If you're brand new, then when you open up your website, it should be popping up to fast track. If it's not, click on dashboard and then click on fast track, okay? And you've got this fast track dashboard. I really want you to work through, if you can tonight, if you're not overly tired and if you haven't already done it, go ahead and do this. Okay. Now just keep in mind that some of these may take a few minutes. This 14 videos right here will take you about an hour. But the way that this works is you hover your mouse or you lightly touch that information eye on a phone. If you have access to a computer, I think you would enjoy this more on a computer to get started. But if you don't, it is mobile friendly too. So read that black box. There is a different black box that pops up for every single task. The black box is the info on why you're doing that task. And if there's any special information you need to know about completing that task, that's the black box. So read the black box first, then simply click on the link. Some of these things are as simple as you're getting your welcome packet and guidelines. That's where your welcome packet and guidelines are. You're going to want to print that out. Once you've printed that out and read that black box and read the welcome packet, you can check that box. And then this stuff down here is simply getting into the Facebook groups, okay? And then lap 2, I would try to have that done, get that done tomorrow if possible. This is just some little housekeeping things like confirming your email, setting up your profile, and putting in your measurements and all kinds of things like that. By the time you have done everything in lap 1 and lap 2, you're going to take this little quiz at the bottom of lap 2 and you'll be able to pass that, okay? That quiz is just saying, yep, I'm on the right track. I know where I'm going. You need to have this badge. It's going to give you your very first badge. You need to have that badge before you go to lap 3 because it opens up the full food library to you. And this is where we are starting to dig into that food library. So if you will trust the lap system and just work through every single task in each of the laps, you'll be very thankful that you just worked it through in a methodical way. This is put in order. If you need a tutorial, this is a tutorial video. This video is just simply the shortened version of what we've done, like what we'll start to do each of these laps, okay? So it's just going to show you those things. And then here's a new member food library. So you know how I said pick 7 favorite fibers, carbs, and 7 favorite lean proteins? If you click on that food library, there's some lists, some basic general lists. You can even print this and just simply put checks next to the things that you like. Or maybe you don't want to even see the things you don't like. Take a separate sheet of paper and write it down on there. So go ahead and work through lap 1 and lap 2 so that we can be ready for lap 3 on Tuesday night, but make sure that you have registered for the simple food combining webinar that is tomorrow night. That's 1 full hour on food combining tomorrow night. And right here, the very first task in lap 1 is getting registered for those events, okay? And once you've registered for one, it's all on the same Zoom link, so you should be able to join back in, but just go in there and make sure that you've gotten registered for all of them, okay? Now, Sharon is saying, can you explain the difference between Tiger Level and Silver? Well, let me just say this to begin with. I want you to put blinders on. I don't even want you to focus on Silver or Tiger at this time. Fast track only. Fast track only until you get the lifestyle down, okay? And you're living this, at least for this first week, at least for this first week. But what Silver Level is it's just a little bit more information than fast track. Okay, because you know when you go to school for 13 years, kindergarten all the way through senior in high school, and then you probably go to college and maybe some postgraduate work and stuff like that. This is like an education. So silver, yeah, fast track is the beginning. Just put your blinders on and work through this 7 laps. Silver is just a little bit more info. But what the tiger level is that is advanced information. Like um, learning how to do what Travis calls tiger days and lion and shark days and other things like that. But here's my point. You won't understand how to do the advanced days if you don't know how to live the lifestyle. But I also want to tell you, you never even have to go to those advanced days if you don't want to. If you get this baby down and you're going along and you're living it and you've got your goal weight and you're maintaining and you're still following the system, you don't even have to go to those other days, those other advanced topics if you want to. Now, Travis is going to hope that you want to, okay? Because he has been doing this for 20 years and you're going to enjoy it. I'm just letting you know that if the word advanced makes you kind of go, oh my goodness, just know it's a progression. It's a progression. So you don't have to fly up there right now. Really consider that you went to kindergarten before you went to first grade. You went to first grade before second, and so forth. And so that's fast track, silver, tiger. Yes, awesome, good. But seriously, blinders on this week, fast track only, and get registered for every night. Y'all are going to absolutely love it. And if you have not registered for the webinar that Jason is doing right now. Jason is doing a webinar right now called How I Overcame Food Addiction and Lost Weight. You can click on this pink online webinars tab in your account, and right here you can click on that and it will take you to the event, but you click on register here and you can go ahead and register and we could join that webinar in progress. And anytime you join and you register for a Zoom class and then spend at least 20 minutes in that Zoom class, you get a badge, the live webinar badge, and your number on that badge will increase for every time that you spent time in the class. So we're going to hop off of here and you can go do that if you want to. It's very motivational, but I would head over to lap 1. I would head over to lap 1 and work through lap 1. That's actually homework. Okay. A little bit about me. I used to be a school teacher and a principal, got a master's degree in education. So I did create that curriculum kind of like a homework thing. And then Sasha, when I did that together, and then she got the developer to put it all together. So it's a very methodical, systematic way to learn what you need to know and be able to utilize the website to the best of your ability. If you are a Facebook user, please join me in the morning for the Shibby Show. I do the Shibby Show around 7:30, 7:40-ish each morning, Monday through Friday. It's daily devotion and morning motivation, and I would love for you to join me for that. If you do not have Facebook, it will be in your journal once you've made it through all of your journal videos, or you can just find that in the topic level in the video library. So I look forward to seeing you. Hey, Phyllis. Hey, Evelyn, you're welcome. You're welcome. I'm so glad y'all are here with me. And I will see y'all in the morning for the Shibby Show. And then tomorrow night at 7:30 for the Simple Food Combining webinar. Bye, everybody.